And showers in the forecast. Already got some a little while ago, but I think there's more on the way. Clouds tomorrow with a high near 79, 82, and sunny on Wednesday. But today looks like it's going to be in the mid-60s with some rain.
Kind of breezy, kind of cool. That's starting your week off with a high in the mid-60s. So showers will taper off later on today. But, yeah, you could see rain on and off through the morning and early afternoon.
Going to make for some good nap weather later on this afternoon when I get home.
Yeah, we're looking at, not all that warm. 65 for a high, and that's not till 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Lots of stuff to get to on a Monday. New Karen of the day, bad news, happy music, the friggin' sports, daily check-ins, all sorts of other stuff as well. Busy weekends, speedway.
Lots of sporting.
Lager
racing,
game, yeah.
Baseball.
Busy, very busy. Yeah, lots going on. You had a good weekend? Did we get into the clinic?
I did not go.
Oh, all right.
I did not go. But I did neti pot a couple times. And that's gross.
A little better?
I did
Was
that.
there stuff that came out?
Oh, yeah.
Lots?
Yeah, that's a thing. So I did that, and I mean, it's getting better. It's one of those things that just takes time, but I did not go in.
All right. Some shine down in a bit, also some POD if you need something. This morning, you can find all our contact info online at rockmornings.com. Head to the website, listen to the show live, check out the daily podcast, and find all our contact info, again, online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Our national nightmare has come to an end, Gene.
What's going on?
The zebra on the loose has been caught.
I was shocked for sure, but also in awe, to be that close to, this big animal like that. So I was definitely amazed by it and a little bit scared for it as well.
Yeah, the zebra was on the loose down there in Tennessee, in the Nashville area. Name is Ed, by the way, Ed the zebra. And was finally captured yesterday. He is a pet zebra, went missing near Nashville last week. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Department posting a video of a helicopter airlifting the zebra into a horse trailer and then taking him home. So.
He was running alongside the highway, wasn't he, last week? Like a 4-lane highway, and having a little day of it, I guess. Escaped and was running around, and now they found him and put him back in a trailer, and he's back
Ed the zebra, though, home safe. And apparently he busted loose almost immediately. Like, they got him home, and then hours later, he was on the run. The Sheriff's Department down there confirmed that Ed was safely located in a pasture.
Oh.
Not far from the interstate.
Yeah. Found a place to just hang out, munching some grass.
Aerial crews with the Sheriff's Tango 82 unit spotting the animal. Coordinated effort between the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Wildlife Resources Agency leading to his safe return. Very unique rescue operation. Ed was airlifted by helicopter and flown to a waiting animal trailer before being reunited with his owners. Yeah. Funny video, though, of Ed the zebra getting airlifted.
I bet.
In other animal-related news, the zoo in Wisconsin was able to get one of the otters back, but the other one
that's right,
remained on the lam, and now they've decided to just let him be. Louis is the otter who didn't return to the zoo, escaped back in March, and now has won his freedom.
Is this Green Bay-ish area? Is that
somewhere over there. This was, the new zoo and adventure park in Green Bay. It was originally Louis and Ophelia escaping their enclosure during a snowstorm back in mid-March, and they have now made the decision to let Louis be a wild otter because they've spotted him a few times, and he has avoided capture. They put some traps out there to try to get him, and people have seen him.
He's living his free life, and they're okay.
Doing what he wants to do. Apparently doing fine on his own, and they're just going to let bygones be bygones and allow Louis to live his life out in happiness, in freedom. Louis was born in the wild, believed to have all of the skills and instincts that he needs to survive on his own, so they feel pretty confident that Louis the otter is going to be okay. Elsewhere, here in the La Crosse area, jury scheduled to be chosen later today for a trial in a local homicide case that happened before COVID. This was Anquan St. Junius, arrested for allegedly stabbing another man during a fight inside of a taxi cab. I'm not sure if you remember that one. Virgil Stewart was then killed by that stabbing. This was the first week of 2019. Inside a cab that was parked on 7th Street in La Crosse. St. Junius scheduled to travel from Illinois to La Crosse over the weekend to be present in court today for trial. Judge Ramona Gonzalez setting aside a full week for the case. Testimony expected to begin sometime this afternoon. Trial has been delayed several times because of the difficulty in finding an attorney for St. Junius, the defendant rejecting a final offer for a plea agreement during pretrial hearings on Friday, but it looks like that trial is going to start later today. Elsewhere, the videos and pictures and footage of Los Angeles looks like a hellhole right now. People rioting, protesting. The ICE agents that are out there and the PD throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails and all sorts of rocks and just, yeah. In a post on Truth, the social platform, Donald Trump mentioning the LAPD's comments from their press conference about reassessing the situation, about him bringing in the National Guard. He wrote, he should right now, don't let these thugs get away with this. Trump also said, looking really bad in LA, bringing the troops, arrest the people in face masks now. LAPD telling reporters in a late-night press conference that it had arrested 10 people on Sunday, bringing the day's total to 27 after adding to the California Highway Patrol's 17 arrests. When he was asked about the need for National Guard presence, LAPD Chief Jim McDonald told reporters, tonight this thing has gotten out of control. But he said he'd have to know more about their intended role before making the determination to bring in the National Guard. Said, we've got to make a reassessment. That was what obviously Trump was responding to. But yeah, just a mess out there in L.A.
And the manhunt continues for
the guy that
Travis
killed his
Decker.
three daughters. Yeah.
Yeah, they believe that he's living in the woods in the Cascade Range area, that he's well versed in that, given his military training and
the stuff that he researched apparently before getting his daughters and then assuming he killed them.
Capable of spending a long time in wilderness survival type skills, and they're telling people in that area to be vigilant and keep their doors locked, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, obviously. And if you see him, call the cops. Don't try to engage. Elsewhere in Wisconsin, a man is on the loose. U.S. Marshals hoping to track down fugitive Terrence Hogg, H-O-G-G. This guy is a convicted sex offender who's been on the run since 2022. Hasn't registered as a sex offender, hasn't kept anything up to date, and is just trying to avoid part of his prosecution, said an investigator in the case. Marshals in Wisconsin looking for this guy. Apparently crossed state lines into Wisconsin. Terrence Hogg, career criminal, 65-year-old, been in and out of the system since the 80s. Arrests for burglary and larceny. 4 years ago, made him in trouble again. It was caught. It also caught the attention of the U.S. Marshals in Wisconsin. He was released from the DOC, moved up here, and kind of flew under the radar. In 2021, Hogg was convicted of disseminating obscene material to a child, went to prison in Iowa, and upon his release, he was required to register as a sex offender. Instead, went on the run and is now believed to be in Wisconsin. So if you want to find out more about this guy, he's 6 feet tall, weighs 170 pounds. Terrence Hogg. They say turn yourself in, deal with it, get on the registry, and live your life. But obviously that guy could be in Wisconsin somewhere, according to the U.S. Marshals. We got sports coming up in a bit.
You sported a lot.
Yeah. Went and saw some racing action on Saturday night.
Lager game last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was a busy weekend for sports.
Busy. Lots going on. More on that in a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That, of course, P.O.D., Youth of the Nation, frontman Sonny Sandoval with a book, a little book tour, talking about his life and being in the band and all that stuff.
What are you, a reader?
We got here a reader.
We got yourselves a book.
Yeah. You can obviously find out more online about that. The Brewers lost to the Padres on Friday night 2-0, beat them 4-3 on Saturday, then lost 1-0 yesterday.
They come to their feet, Milwaukee. Line to center, but back is Bogarts to reel it in. Soft liner is caught. It is the 12th shutout this season. That's the most in the majors for the Padres, and that guy right there, Manny Machado, supplying the game's only run with a home run.
Yeah, Manny Machado hit a home run, and that was enough to beat the Brewers yesterday. The Brew Crew struggling against the Padres at home this weekend. They've got 3 more at home against Atlanta starting tonight at 6:40. Brad Marchand, double overtime for the Florida Panthers on Friday night, getting the 5-4 win, tying up that series at a game apiece.
Ahead for Marchand, moving in on Skinner. Marchand is in, he scores! Marchand wins game 2 for the Panthers in double overtime.
Yeah. Single overtime in game 1, double overtime in game 2. What the hell is going to happen tonight in game 3? Game 3 of the NHL Stanley Cup Final tonight at 7 o'clock on TNT. This time it's Edmonton at Florida.
Potential for excitement is high.
Well, yeah, it's the NHL Stanley Cup Final. In the NBA yesterday.
They only lost 2 in a row twice in the regular season. They have yet to lose back-to-back games in this playoff run. The NBA Finals are tied at 1 game apiece.
The Oklahoma City Thunder tying things up with the Indiana Pacers at a game apiece thanks to a 123-101 win. Game 3 is Wednesday night at 7:30 on ABC, with OKC now traveling to Indiana to take on the Pacers. Sovereignty returning to the track. Outrunning Journalism on Saturday in the Kentucky Derby rematch. This was the 157th Belmont Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse. And Sovereignty, again, taking a break there in the middle, but returning to the track and beating Journalism on Saturday in the Belmont Stakes. Denny Hamlin outlasting the competition at Michigan International Speedway for his 3rd NASCAR Cup Series win of the season, 57th of his career. Driving and possibly traveling to see his girlfriend or fiance or wife or whoever the hell she is give birth to their 3rd child. So she's pregnant and about ready to pop. And I think they had a 50-lap cutoff or something like that. If she went into labor within the first 50 laps, he was going to get on a plane or a helicopter and take off and go be with her. But it sounds like everything worked out, and he ended up winning the race and trolling Michigan fans by starting the Ohio chants. You know, they got a little rivalry there. Denny Hamlin said after the race, the tackle box is full. There's all kinds of stuff going on. He also owns a team that's suing NASCAR right now, so he's got a lot on his plate. Hamlin in the number 11 Toyota went low to pass William Byron, the 197th of 200 laps, and then pulled away from the pack to win by more than a second over Chris Buescher. Elsewhere in sports, Spencer Carberry.
Who's this?
The Washington Capitals head coach was named the winner of the 2024-2025 Jack Adams Award on Saturday. Best coach in the league. Honor presented to the NHL coach who is judged to have made the biggest contribution to his team's success. He led the Capitals to a 51-22-9 record this season. Team finishing first in the Eastern Conference in his second season as Washington's head coach. By the way, he is the first person to be recognized as Coach of the Year in the ECHL, the AHL, and the NHL. So, obviously, everywhere this guy goes, he puts his stamp on something, and he's a pretty damn good coach that's well regarded. So, yeah.
2 years with the Capitals and turned it into that kind of an organization.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have some talent on the team, too, like Alexander Ovechkin, but...
Right. That's very helpful.
Yeah. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to Chevelle and some Lincoln Park in a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Karen. You what? Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Karen?
She's alarming but disarming and a really very charming modern girl.
Karen.
Oh, man, the Karens. This one isn't so bad. Not a lot of audio with this one, but what do you think this Karen is upset about, Gene?
Well, it usually has to, is it her food was wrong at the okay. Was it, let's see, it was a road rage. Somebody was driving to, okay. Wasn't that? They were, you know what, lemonade stand in her front yard. Oh, man.
That's a good guess. That's seen those on the rise.
Yeah, somebody was barbecuing where they shouldn't be barbecuing.
No, this Karen was upset about a man watching a movie by himself.
In a theater?
Yeah. This is a mom in the UK, took her kids to go see Lilo and Stitch, the new one that just came out. Noticed an adult man by himself munching on snacks and watching the movie. She posted about it on a parents' forum, asking if it was unreasonable to find this odd. The overwhelming answer was yes, she is being unreasonable. More than 3,000 people voted on her forum 95% of the people said there's absolutely nothing wrong with a grown man going to see a kid's movie by himself. One person said, quote, man watches film alone whilst eating snacks, normal. Someone goes to the cinema with their child and sits on their phone bitching about other cinema goers. You're the weird one. Now,
she was just asking, right? I mean, she didn't like...
Here's the thing. I will say that it is odd to see people go to the movies by themselves because it's not typically an alone thing.
Well, and then she's upping the ante. This is
because it's a kid's movie. That's a guy.
Yeah.
If it had been a woman, probably wouldn't have posted about it. However, here's why this lady maybe didn't use her brain to think about this. The original movie, the original Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Do you know when that came out? It was 2002.
I was going to say.
Let's say that guy was 10 years old and loved the movie so much.
Yes.
And it was like a thing that spoke to him. Now you fast forward 23 years. Now the guy's in his 30s and a new movie comes out.
That's what I'm saying. There's a whole generation of people who feel nostalgic about that character and that movie. And
that's what happened with Finding Nemo.
Might go see that movie alone. I understand why she's using it as a talking point. She's just saying, hey, like, here's something. What's your opinion on it? If she left him alone and was just curious what people thought, it's one thing. She didn't go up to him and go, hey, dude, what are you doing here? Did she?
And the other thing, too, it sounds like the guy was already sitting there, already on, eating this and not minding his own business. It's not like he came in and found a couple of kids to sit next to or behind.
Sidled up next to him.
Right.
Or something.
Just, yeah. Not so Karen-y, but just kind of,
interesting.
Mind your own goddamn business. How about that? Guy's not bothering anybody. He's munching on snacks. I wonder what kind of snacks he had. Probably popcorn. Do you think British?
Junior Mint.
This is in the UK. It's probably the same kind of snacks in a...
I don't know. I saw some British candy when I was there.
Well, the candy's different, but do they do popcorn in movies or do they do something else? They got to add chips. They got to let us have chips.
In the theater?
Yeah. I don't like eating theater popcorn for whatever reason. It gives my guts the...
Not good?
No.
They have a lot of options now. I mean,
pretzels
cocktails and all sorts of warm.
But I want some chips, bags of chips, man. Like, what's wrong? Like, chips are like our favorite snack. Give me some goddamn chips. Television tonight, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals is on TNT. Starts at 7 o'clock. The Oilers and Panthers series tied up going into tonight's game.
As they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Also tonight on BET, CMT, MTV, VH1, and Nick, which I think is Nickelodeon. The BET Awards 2025 starts at 7 o'clock. Mariah Carey, Jamie Foxx, Kirk Franklin, and Snoop Dogg are the honorees for this year's Ultimate Icon Awards. Kevin Hart will be the host. And performers at this year's BET Awards include Lil Wayne, Tiana Taylor, Glorilla, Playboy Cardi, and several others that I've never heard of. American Ninja Warrior on NBC tonight, qualifiers, new episode of that. The Quiz with Balls tonight on Fox. Also, the series premiere of Virgins on TLC. It's a reality series about 4 sexually inexperienced adults in their 30s and 40s.
40-year-old virgin? Is that what we're
who are
dealing
now
with?
looking to leave their comfort zones and seal the deal.
How do you envision your first time?
It's intimate. It's steamy.
Pure paradise. Not on the beach, though, because that would hurt, I think, and get messy.
I imagine it feels glorious. That's why people do it so much.
I'm, of course, going to be in my head of like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? My fear is being bad at it.
I am 37 years young.
I'm 42.
I'm 35 years old.
I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm a virgin.
Virgins, the series premiere on TLC about a bunch of virgins.
Okay.
Old virgins.
Yeah. Adult versions.
Steamy and romantic. Brah, somebody's got to talk to that lady. Somebody's got to have a sit down with her because that ain't what it's like.
It could be. She's at a different place in her life than...
I don't want to do it on the beach because there's sand.
Yeah, I don't. That's true. That's... If you're not willing to be kind of a mess then afterwards, then probably not the beach.
The one lady, I was watching the trailer today, one of the ladies said she's never masturbated either. Like she's never gone up, flown solo.
Is it a religious thing? Did she
I don't
talk
know.
about that?
No, I didn't care to watch any more of it, but I did. It was like a part of the clip that I saw, and I was like, "You're in your 30s or 40s and never not once have you?"
Now they're getting paid to be on a show and tell their story.
New episode of Yes Chef on NBC. Also, the series premiere of Divorced Sisters after the BET Awards on BET. Late night shows, most of them are new. Kimmel is in repeats. But Fallon is new with Robert De Niro, Weird Al Yankovic, and Arcade Fire. Neil deGrasse Tyson, William Shatner, the Doobie Brothers are going to be on with Stephen Colbert. And Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and Monica Barbaro are going to be on with Seth Meyers tonight. So that's what's on the boob tube. Didn't watch too much TV this weekend. Busy. Going to the Speedway on Saturday night. Had some fun. Ate some nachos.
I watched, it was Wolverine, but it was like...
Talking about Logan? One where he's old?
No.
And the limousine driver?
No. Like the origin story, I think, of the X-Men.
When he goes back in time and he's like...
when he first becomes Wolverine, like real Wolverine. Yeah. Like, and that is... I don't know what that is, but I watched that. I just know that was all all, you know...
All right.
So... That was Saturday night.
Something to do?
Well, I was flipping through. I was actually trying to find Con Air because we had talked about that, but it was on Hulu, and I didn't want to pay for it. So then I was like, I went to Disney, and it was at the top, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this Marvel movie or whatever with Iron Man, and then it was him and his brother, and how he became, or not Iron Man, Wolverine, and then the X-Men, and I didn't even know which version it was, but it was one I hadn't seen before, and there was some pretty good. I had helicopter crashing scenes.
Had Con Air on Saturday morning when I was doing some prep for the show, and then Sunday I was watching The Rock. A couple of Nicolas Cage bangers this weekend. Wife finished up the Bridgerton show, and then there was like a spin-off, Queen Charlotte, I think it's called.
All right.
Finished that up this weekend.
That was about it, huh?
Yeah. But we were out and about a lot. So we were, like I said, Speedway and Lager game, giving the business to the opposing pitcher last night. Got in his head a little bit. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And a victory for the Loggers last night.
Just doing my part. Just doing what I can. Trying to help the team. Yeah, support the team. Can't go out like that. It's insane.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
I'm going to mess up this name, the last name at least, because that's what I do. First name is Lily. Last name is Prasek, I believe. Prasek.
How old is Lily?
Lily is 12 years old. She lives in Oregon. And she just became Oregon's youngest therapy dog handler.
So her dog is now a therapy dog, and they go to hospitals or nursing homes or something?
Yeah, and you're going to love this. She's been training her golden retriever, Sunny, for over a year now, but couldn't be a junior therapy dog handler until she turned 12. So she and Sunny recently passed all the tests to get certified, and it's official. Her and Sunny now working together as therapy dog.
He's really big, but he just wants love, and he's not mean at all, or not that I would know of. The gentle giant, a big, loving bear. I just hope he reaches his max potential. Just this amazing dog that everybody loves.
Yeah, 12 years old, obviously knew what she wanted to do. Sunny was in for the ride as well. Training your dog tough enough just to get him to sit and stay and all that crap. This obviously requires a lot more dedication.
He's big, though, she said.
Require more than a year of work, but when the dog has obvious love to give, that's what she wanted to do. So 12-year-old Lily, along with her golden retriever, Sunny, working hard at becoming a therapy dog. Obviously, when you're a loving golden retriever, you're half the way there.
Halfway there. Yeah, and smart, probably.
At just 11 years old, Lily decided she wanted to start training Sunny to be a therapy dog. She's the second youngest of 5 kids. The family shares Sunny, but it was Lily who saw something special in the dog. Yeah. Obviously, family pet, but Lily
said, I think possibly could be a therapy dog. We thought that so much about Winnie.
Apparently, the dog, Sunny, had terrible manners as a puppy and a young dog.
Adolescence.
But she saw the potential in the dog. I feel like the inspiration was definitely that I could help people, even though she wasn't old enough to be a junior therapy dog handler. Wanted to give Sunny that title. All my siblings doubted me. They'd tease me and stuff. Her mom, Elizabeth, backing up those claims that they were getting teased. Her siblings did give her a lot of grief. They were like, "You're never going to do it. You can't do that." Oh, man.
Sounds like siblings.
Lily went and proved them wrong. Shortly after turning 12 years old, the youngest she could possibly be to become a junior therapy dog handler with the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. She and Sonny passing all the tests, earning the certification.
Sonny, good boy.
And part of being a junior handler means you have to have an adult handler supervising. Elizabeth Mom also got certified, so Mom went along for the ride. It's really Lily and Sonny's thing, she says, though, as she's been very dedicated to the process, and she saw all that Sonny is, a lover, that he had talent, and she wanted to share that with people. Lily now regularly sharing Sonny with long-term residents at a Regency Village there in their hometown.
That's what I was going to say. Taking him to the nursing home and having an adult, obviously, with him in case something were to happen. You got to have that. But good for her. It sounds like she did the work, and her and Sonny are a team, and na to her siblings.
One of just 2 junior handlers in the state of Oregon, by the way. Yeah.
Good for her.
Congratulations.
And making all those people so happy that they get to go and see Sonny and pet Sonny and have that interaction. I'm sure it's a highlight of their week.
Got some Sleep Token on the way and also some Nothing More. If you need something, rockmornings.com is the website to get in touch with us. Got a text from Corbin. Said Netflix movie recommendation. Watch The Long Shot. It's good. Also got a text from someone who said, in the UK theaters, you don't get much, just popcorn and some silent snacks, no beer. And seats are not comfy either, like sitting in school chairs. He said it is. I said it sounds pretty lame. He said it is compared to here in America. I was mind blown by the seats here. The recliners.
Especially the ones where you can really lay down.
Yeah. So apparently, some of the theaters, at least in Britain or in the
movie
UK,
theaters,
not so friendly, not so.
I went to see a live performance, and that was a comfy theater. But maybe movie theaters are different. Their candy's not as sweet either, and no red dye. So,
yeah, well, they care about the health of their citizens.
Exactly,
unlike our country.
Little less sweet.
People get all mad about it. We'll get to that Sleep Token in a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
All right, close your eyes. You're at home. You're standing in front of your refrigerator. You open the door to the refrigerator.
Yep.
You're looking, you're scanning.
Uh-huh.
Everything is in its right place.
It's jam-packed because we just went to the grocery store.
How many different sauces would you say you have in your refrigerator?
Well, it depends. Is our dressings a sauce? 30.
Salad dressings, ketchups, Worcestershires.
40.
Shrimp cocktail sauce.
Ketchup, mustard, 40, barbecue
dips
sauces.
And sauces.
Yes, salsa.
Salsa may be its own thing. 40.
40, probably.
According to
soy sauce, all that.
According to a recent poll, the average American has 8.
8?
Different kinds of sauce in their fridge.
Maybe we're talking about different things then. Maybe my classification is different.
A new poll asking people what foods they think are best with sauce. And not surprisingly, French fries are number 1. 73% of people say they are best dipped in sauces like ketchup, hot sauce, ranch, barbecue, and even mustard. Chicken nuggets are next in terms of our favorite items to dip in sauces, followed by hot dogs. Then wings, cheeseburgers, tacos, nachos, deli sandwiches, pizza, and veggies.
There's taco sauce. It's Frank's Red Hot.
Poll asking people to list their weird sauce combinations.
Tabasco, Chihuly.
They include French fries with tartar sauce.
They got tartar sauce in there, too.
Well, French fries and a Frosty, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs and barbecue sauce. Pickles with buffalo sauce. Macaroni and Worcestershire sauce. Honey mustard with pita bread. Ramen noodles with ranch dressing. And according to this poll online, the average person has 8 different kinds of sauces in their fridge.
I'm way, way, way
Same.
Way over that. Way.
I mean,
Because if mustards or sauces, there's
we've
8
got
of those.
4 mustards on our door, yeah. And we've got a ketchup. I don't know. Mayo is probably considered a sauce based on what these things are. What they're telling us here. So mayo. There's 2 different kinds of mayo because my wife's got some kind of Asian mayo that comes in like a squeeze tube. And then there's we've got a tartar sauce.
Oh, there's all that.
There's a shrimp
Soy
cocktail sauce.
Sweet and sour sauce.
There's some kind of sweet and sour thing. There's several different red hot sauces like a Tabasco.
4 different hot sauces. 5 different hot sauces, I think.
So, 8, though.
8.
According to a new poll, the average American has 8 kinds of sauce in the fridge. Just 8, which seems really low and sad.
Yes.
Somebody texted in and said, I've got more than 8 hot sauces alone.
I was just going to say, I've got, I think, 5.
Bro, I've got more than 8 hot sauces alone.
Yeah, I think that has to be some sort of average. Like, we moved Grace into her apartment this weekend.
Yeah.
She has 0 sauces right now because she has an empty fridge. So maybe it's that, and then you take somebody with got 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Easily.
Averages it out.
There's a Hidden Valley Ranch party in my mouth.
Hell yeah. Party-sized ranch in my fridge.
I do want to talk about something else that's food-related that I found out. And look, when you get to be almost 50 years old, and
you were surprised by something?
Very rarely am I surprised by something that I had no idea about.
You did or somebody else did?
Someone told me about something, and I had no idea it existed, and now I'm on a mission to find out more. And rather than go down like a Google wormhole,
yes,
I figured I'd come in and talk about it today.
Okay.
So Saturday, before we went to rock the races at the La Crosse Intergalactic Speedway of West Salem, we went to John's Bar, had a beverage. A friend of ours, a girl named Morgan, and her boyfriend came in. And they were going to. Do you remember the skunk we met from the Cooley region? Flower the skunk.
Yes, I do. It was a rehabilitated.
So years ago,
skunk.
Gene and I went to the Cooley Region Humane Society. They were asking for us to help them raise money for their. They have a wild animal sanctuary kind of there. It's not just for dogs and cats that get surrendered.
It's like a rehabilitation to hopefully put them back out.
If like an owl gets hit by a car and needs to be rehabbed, or if
baby ducks get separated
squirrels
from their mom and they get raised there.
Well, and they have a skunk that doesn't have its scent glands in it, and it's it's not therapy, but it's sort of like a ambassador for the program,
teaching
and it's friendly,
program.
right?
Yes.
So kids can be around it and all that stuff,
flowers.
not unsupervised. And we held the skunk.
Yes.
Well, apparently they were doing a skunk thing with Flower over at Chances Are. I think it was Chances Are, the gay bar, one of the gay bars in town. And we were just kind of talking about stuff, and then all of a sudden she mentioned something about, and I'm surprised you're not jumping on this, so you might not know about it, because I thought for sure once you heard me talking about it, you know where I was getting to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you heard about gays eating garlic bread in the park?
No.
Yeah, that was the reaction that I had. Did you see your face? Did you see your dumb face?
Well,
dude, it's a thing, and it happens every year, and it's like a nationwide thing. And I thought it was just local here in town. And I asked my friend Moore, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah, but it's they just go down there and they eat garlic bread." And I said, "So is it a garlic bread festival where there's like garlic bread and a bunch of trucks and all this stuff?" She said, "No, apparently this one you got to like bring your own garlic bread." And I said, "Well, that seems kind of lame." Like, do you share it? Is it like a potluck for garlic bread?
I think it started in Seattle.
It's happening next Saturday, this coming Saturday, at Riverside Park in La Crosse. And it happens all over the country. Gays eating garlic bread in the park. You bring your own toast, whatever else you'd like. Celebrate gay pride.
Yep.
The same event happening in Appleton on Saturday. It happens all across the country. Apparently, not necessarily on the same date, but I guess they go down there and they just eat garlic bread.
I love garlic bread.
Well, I feel like they're missing an opportunity to have a really kick-ass.
You mean if they had like different
garlic bread festival?
like different vendors.
Well, and I don't know.
offering
I
different
have no
things.
idea. This is I was completely befuddled by this whole situation on Saturday. My friend Morgan
Maybe there
telling me
was
about
cheesy garlic bread over here, and then this
it. Well,
one's
like
made
some
on
kind
a
of like what about like a black
different
garlic
roll, different kind of a roll,
Yes.
or different kind of made sticks. Some are sticks, maybe. Some
Yeah.
are different kinds.
All I know is that if there's some kind of garlic bread festival,
Wafting.
I want in on it.
Yeah,
Gay or not.
for sure.
But
Locals gathering, eating garlic
it
bread.
blew my mind on Saturday. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And then she's like, yeah, but you got to bring your own garlic bread. I'm like, well, that seems kind of like they missed the point here.
This didn't have anything to do with the skunk, did it?
No, but
okay.
that's how the conversation got started.
Got it. Goes
And-
viral.
Well, because it was at Chansard, and it was a Pride thing, and yada, 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 and it's Pride Month and all that stuff. And so I was like, and then she was asking me about this, and I had never even heard of this thing. They got to get a better marketing team, the gays.
Well,
they got to figure it out.
New, apparently, relatively new.
Okay.
Went
Well,
viral in
I would
Seattle.
I would like to, if they need some help with this, let me know. Because I'm down with some garlic bread.
I'm having some at
I
Riverside.
mean, I'm too busy on Saturday for this whole thing. I got a lot going on this weekend, but
I could stop in between graduation parties and get myself some bread.
yeah, but I don't think you can get bread. I think you have to bring bread. You have to bring your own, and then you just hang out there and eat it, which is fine. But again, that's the point that I'm trying to get across here, is that we're missing an opportunity to have some people come down there and serve up some really good garlic breads. Or is it like a potluck thing where you walk around and you share bread with other people?
I don't know. Like a farmer, maybe a farmer's market kind
A
of thing?
garlic bread farmer's market?
Mhm.
Is that a thing?
Maybe.
Could you take like a baguette, like a French baguette, and you cut it? You know, it's all soft on the inside,
Mhm.
whatever. And you take that garlic butter and you just dump it in there. And so it's like a bread bowl.
Like a bowl?
And you're just eating it, and like that garlic butter just is all over your face and dripping down your chin and everything.
You could do that, sure.
I'd do that. I'd hella do that.
I know you would.
I love me some garlic bread. I had never, and again, it just blew my mind. I had never heard of this thing at all.
Bring a blanket, some garlic bread, a beverage if you want.
Riverside Park this Saturday. What time does it start at?
I don't know. I'm looking at all
Looks
the
like
different
noon.
locations.
Looks like noon.
Okay.
Noon
All
to
right.
4. Bring your own bread. So do they have the garlic butter, and then, or you bring your
No,
own
yeah,
garlic?
I think you bring everything.
Yeah. My wife and I just sitting there like, what the hell are you talking about? Garlic bread in the park? When did this
Let's
start?
become a thing.
Yeah. Blew my mind. Sports is coming up in just a bit. We'll get to bad news, happy music a bit later on. Going to talk about traveling.
Yes, please.
Also got daily check-ins. Send us emails and text messages. More rain coming at some point today.
I think just barely on and off. It looked like it ended, around 6 o'clock, but cooler today for sure.
All right. Yeah, definitely cooler. 66 for a high today with showers this morning, maybe some more rain. Light rain off and on throughout the rest of the day, and then some clouds and a high of 79 tomorrow.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That one kind of crept up on me. Sleep token. Emergence. I can't do it. I don't get it. To each their own.
Yes.
I'm not trying to
completely.
gatekeep. I'm just trying to tell you my opinion.
Completely.
I hate that band. I don't get it. They just had their first show of their tour, and I watched a whole bunch of videos, and it's just people standing there like this. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like they
Different vibe.
I can't get into it at all. It's not for me. I want nothing to do with that band. I can't.
Huge.
I don't know if it's huge, but there's a lot of people that like them.
Correct.
I mean, Metallica in Moscow in the 90s was huge. Talking to 500,000 people. Talking to earthquakes in Virginia. All right? That's huge. This band, I don't know what the hell's going on. Not my cup of chowder, I'll tell you that. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Brewers losing to the Padres on Friday night 2-0, and then they won on Saturday 4-3. And then they lost again yesterday 1-0. They're at home against Atlanta tonight, 6:40, 1-3 against the Braves for the Brew Crew. Just got a text from someone said the Packers are releasing two-time Pro Bowler Jair Alexander. If that's the case, and we'll obviously talk more about that with Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show tomorrow. Thank you for the text.
Apparently.
Appreciate it. NBA last night, the Thunder evening up the NBA Finals with the Indiana Pacers at 1 apiece thanks to a 123-101 win. Game 3 of that series is Wednesday night, 7:30 on ABC. And Game 3 of the NHL Stanley Cup Final is tonight on TNT with Edmonton at Florida. Corbin Burns, former Cy Young Award winner, just got himself a $210 million contract to help push the Diamondbacks into the National League's elite. Is now going to have Tommy John surgery and miss the rest of this season and most of next season as well. Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo made the announcement on Friday in Cincinnati, where his team was set to open a 3-game series against the Reds, but they're going to be without Corbin Burns for a year and a half, year and some change. 8 days after they lost in their third straight Western Conference Finals, the Dallas Stars announcing that they would fire their head coach, Peter DeBoer, had a year remaining on his contract, had his future with the franchise come under question after the Stars lost to the Oilers in 5 games. And their GM said, quote, "After careful consideration, we believe a new voice is needed in our locker room to push us closer to our goal of winning the Stanley Cup. Want to thank Pete for everything that he's done, yada, 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 and wish him the best moving forward." Elsewhere, a 2,000-yard rushing season for Derrick Henry this year would obviously put him in the NFL record book, but it also put him in a movie. A new Adam Sandler movie. Apparently, he's a big fan of Adam Sandler.
And he wants to, he just wants to.
Dan Patrick show earlier last week, Dan Patrick told Derrick Henry that he would get the 5-time Pro Bowl player in a Adam Sandler film if he ran or rushed for 2,000 yards or more this coming season. Obviously, the Sandman and Dan Patrick are buddies. He's been in several of his films.
Like a carrot. He dangled a carrot in front of him, and he did it.
And then on Thursday of last week, Derrick Henry was handed a phone on the practice field that was a video message from Adam Sandler himself, who said 2,000 yards plus this year not only gets you in a movie, but we'll have a nice dinner together and talk about Dan Patrick's facial hair and how hard it is for him to grow it. I love you and keep it up. So Derrick Henry might be in a Sandler movie if he rushes for 2,000 yards or more this year for the Ravens.
Jordan Love hoping to exchange jerseys with Aaron Rodgers when
number
they face
8.
each other on the 8th week, apparently.
Yeah, and Aaron is going with number 8. Obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers have only retired, I think, 3 jerseys in the history of that team, which is outstanding when you think of all the great players. But Terry, what's his nuts there? The Bradshaw. Of course, the 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
His jersey's not retired officially. I mean, it's more of like a unspoken thing.
How can that be?
Well, that's just how it is. So anyways, and Aaron Rodgers, of course, wore number 12 for a long time, but he's going back to his college days,
number,
which he wore with the Jets when he was there as well, because Joe Namath, his number was 12 and it was retired, and he even gave the thumbs up. He said, look, if you want to unretire it and give it to Aaron Rodgers, I don't mind. Namath said that, but I'm sure that Bradshaw is happy that, because he had nothing good to say about Aaron Rodgers.
He did not really, but they visit the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, Week 8, and Jordan Love saying it's going to be fun, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to be on different sides meeting up, and I know we'll talk, and then hopefully we can exchange jerseys afterwards.
Yeah. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Starting to get very dark and cloudy out there. Might see a little more rain here this morning. 66 for a high, and then partly cloudy tomorrow with a high near 79.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Do you know how many states
No.
you have been to in the United States of America?
I do not.
If I were to show you a map, could you guesstimate all the states you've been to?
Does it count like flying, like being at an airport where you stop? No, okay, because that would be.
I think for this, I think it means visiting. Like
Actually
you're going,
visiting.
And I don't know if you need to stay there for multiple nights, but so we drove to Fargo, right, and stayed there for a couple nights and went to a show, and but we didn't really venture out and check, but I would consider that staying there. Like we drove there to go to a concert.
You were there.
We were there. We went to the concert, and then we came back. But we didn't really go out and experience a lot that Fargo or North Dakota had to offer. But I would say that would be a visit, at least, to another state, rather than just driving through, maybe stopping and getting gas at some point.
You're still in the state. No, yes, I could tell you where I've been, but I would say through, but I don't have a list somewhere, though. I haven't really been much to the East Coast, I will say that. That's kind of an area that I have not been to. We've been out west a number of times. Obviously, the Midwest, all of those states. We've done, some of the South with, on the coast because in-laws used to live down there. So Florida, we went to Disney, went to California.
Yeah, I mean,
the East Coast is missing.
I've been in every state on the East Coast, even if just briefly. I mean, when I was 10, we drove down to Florida to go to Disney World and stayed at a campground down there. Obviously, I lived in the Northeast, and I live in the Midwest now. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois. Been to all those states multiple times. Been up to North Dakota, like I said, visiting a friend up there, going to a concert, went to a wedding up there as well. Anything west of North Dakota, I haven't been there.
Okay.
So Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, none of that.
Utah, all that. I've been to all that.
Well, that's not true, because we did go to Arizona.
I thought so.
For a NASCAR race. And
so
we
you
drove
went through.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, again, consider that necessarily visiting those states. Arizona we visited because we were there for a week and stayed with some friends and, went to the NASCAR race and all that stuff.
Went to Glacier, went to Rocky Mountain, went to the Mount Rushmore.
5% of Americans, adults, have never visited another U.S. state, so they've only stayed where they live.
Small percentage of people.
Very small, but new poll says that 16% of adult Americans say they've been to 30 or more states. Obviously, it gets more common as you get older, but 5% of Gen Zers under the age of 30 say they've never visited another state. They've only stayed in their home state. Yeah. 20% of people say it's very important for them to visit a large number of states within their lifetime. See what the country has to offer. That's our plan when we retire. Drive around, see the sights, go to ball games, the wonders of the world, the things that you have to offer.
Well, we had those opportunities to be able to do that or vacation or go to Chicago for a show or whatever. But I understand that if you've got a family that's like that has a lake house or something, you probably that's all you. That's what you're doing. And you're not leaving the state. You're just going up north, as they call it, or whatever that is equivalent in your own state. You guys would go to the coast.
Yeah. Most visited states in America: Florida, New York, Texas, California. Least visited: Alaska, North Dakota, Vermont, and Montana.
Hawaii's not on that? Least visited, I would think.
Not least or most, so it's somewhere in between. But you'd think one or the other, because people would either love to go to Hawaii because it's beautiful.
You'd love to, but it's an extreme trip.
But yeah, 5% of adults in this survey say they've never been to another state other than the one that they live in. That's sad.
But you see how that could happen. I mean, like I said, you've got land.
If you're smack dab in the middle of Texas, that's a long way to go to get anywhere.
And if they've got, where they vacation is in their own state, it's just a different place, and that's how they spend their time and, vacation days, then you wouldn't leave.
Yeah. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Again, a bit cloudy today with some rain possible at times. Then tomorrow, getting warmer, 79.
80 by the end of the week, isn't it?
Into the mid-80s by Wednesday, yeah. So it's going to get warmer. Definitely going to get warmer. Turn that air conditioner back on.
Cool today, though. Only in the mid-60s. Starting this Monday off. A little cloudy, a little cool, a little rainy.
We got Bad News, Happy Music coming up a bit later on. Daily check-ins as well. Got some Green Day in just a bit. Right now, it's Breaking Benjamin.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You ever had a migraine?
Thankfully, no.
I mean, I've had some bad headaches.
Agree.
But nothing, as far as I know, that compares to a migraine.
Falls under the description, I would say. Yeah.
I'm assuming that if you've never had one before and you get one, you know right away that you're having some kind of migraine. And we got people that worked here that suffered for years with migraines.
Yes.
probably a lot of different meds available.
I know some people that get a shot every 6 weeks or
Botox,
something like
right?
that.
Isn't that a thing?
I don't know what it is, but I know we have a coworker who does that, and there's lots of other. But yeah, I know that is awful, and I'm sensitive to that. But glad I don't have them.
There's apparently a migraine meal at McDonald's you can get that is supposed to either help or cure your migraine.
Okay.
This is internet stuff. The migraine meal from McDonald's is a large Coke and a large fry. And that's it. And it sounds delightful, I'll be honest with you, even without
So is this
migraine.
like a new social media trend or something that's happening?
80 milligrams of caffeine in a large Coke from McDonald's. Caffeine, pain relief properties, which is why the most common migraine medicine, Excedrin, has caffeine in it.
Is this salt? Is it the
Saltiness
salt?
of the fries should help balance your electrolytes, and the carbs can help blood sugar levels. A neurologist named Dr. Matthew Robbins says, quote, "We know migraines are associated with worse cardiovascular health, and having a fatty meal and a big caffeinated soda not really good for you in general. If someone finds that they improve with this hack, that's great for them, but if they're using it too often, that's not good for you either."
Mm-hmm, of course. Gaining some traction online. No real scientific evidence to support it. It's
Right.
just...
But the
It's just out there.
migraine meal at McDonald's is apparently just a large fry and a large Coke.
sounds like a good snack, doesn't it?
Why not go for 2 large fries?
It's a lot of fries.
Yeah, but you're not having a burger.
True, but a large fry is
You ever
a
do
lot.
that? You ever get 2 fries and you dump them in the bag and then you put another salt in there and you shake it all up and you got extra salty, super duper large fries?
I have not.
Bro.
Like a basket of
No.
just fries?
No, they don't do baskets
No,
at
I know,
McDonald's.
but that's what it would be
No,
like, right?
like when
It's
you order the-
family
when you
size
get-
fries.
When you get the to-go, you go through and
Get 2 larges.
I'd like 2 large fries and a large Coke. And then you take the 2 fries in the bag, the brown paper bag that they give you the fries in.
Dump
you dump
them
them both
out.
out. You take one of the salt packets and you open it up and you
Then
dump
you
it in
shake
there.
it in there,
And
and
then you
then-
close it up, you shake it all up, and bam. Extra salty, fresh and hot and ready McDonald's fries in a bag. Two servings worth. It's delish. You should try it. It's good for you.
And a
Good for good for the soul, man. Just driving around, windows open, tunes cranked, just fries. Fries. It feels like a never-ending bag of fries. It's wonderful. You know how you get to the end of the fries and you're like, oh, man, I'm running out of fries. It doesn't feel like that. It feels great.
No,
and then by the
I would
time
imagine not.
And then when the fries are done, you're like, all right, I've had enough.
That was a
I've had-
lot of fries.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of fries.
Probably had enough salt for the week, but, Yeah. If I was going to do a migraine meal, it'd be 2 large fries and 1 large Coke. I just feel like the 1 large fry, if I'm not going to have a burger, it's like, that's not enough.
Still a lot of fries, probably, huh?
No. It's the right amount of fries. It's delicious. Some Blur in a couple minutes. The friggin' sports plus bad news, happy music, rockmornings.com to get in touch with us. You can also listen to the program live. Check out the daily podcast on there as well. It's Memphis Mayfire.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Song 2 from Blur on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The friggin' sports! Brought to you by racists.
Uh-oh.
Sadly, it's still a thing. Probably always going to be a thing. Last year, it was the bronze statue of Jackie Robinson.
Oh, no.
But I don't think the guy who did that...
Was he trying
did
to...
it. He just wanted to sell the medal, right? He wanted to cash in on the medal. It was a bronze statue of Jackie Robinson at a ballpark. I think like a kid,
It was a kid.
Little League baseball
It was.
park. Anyways, they found the guy last year and new statue, all that stuff. So all's well that ends well, I guess, in that situation. But that guy, I don't think, was doing it because he was mad that Jackie Robinson
had a statue at this
was
park.
black and broke the color barrier and all that stuff. This, however, is a different story. Murals honoring groundbreaking MLB Hall of Famers Jackie Robinson and Minnie Minoso defaced with racial slurs and swastikas in Miami this week. Miami Police Department notified of the crime on Monday. Department's Special Investigations Unit looking at the incident as a hate crime. Graffiti consists of swastikas painted on both of the men's faces, with the N-word also used twice on Robinson. The murals, which are located at Dorsey Park in Miami's historically black Overtown neighborhood, have all been covered up with wooden boards and are obviously going to be fixed and replaced with new murals without all that
hate on
garbage
them.
all over it. Yeah. World we're living in, man. It's crazy out there. Sad. Very sad.
So they're looking for the people who did it, and then they're going to charge them with a hate crime.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin' sports on Rock Mornings. Brian and Gene. Did you see the, speaking of the friggin' sports, remember the story about the, and baseball players, the story about the water jug and the kid pissed in it?
Yes.
Yeah, the kid's not going to get charged. Nearly 3 months after a 16-year-old Rio Rancho JV baseball player admitted to urinating in an opposing team's water jug during a game, the district attorney's office says it was not a crime. In New Mexico, battery consists of the unlawful touching of another person in a rude and insolent manner. So in this case, we don't have any touching of another person, said Chief Deputy DA Jessica Martinez.
Well, did they charge him with anything other than battery? They're saying that charge doesn't fall underneath the lawful description, so they can't charge him with that. But
former prosecutor, current state senator in New Mexico, Mo Mastas, disagrees, says, if I spit in someone's hamburger and they take a bite, that's battery. According to an email that was sent out to parents at the time of the incident, some students drank from the contaminated jug. Due to that, the teen was facing 15 battery charges, one for each person who drank the water, but those charges have all gone away. New Mexico doesn't have a statute that makes it criminal for someone to mess with someone else's food or pee in a water bottle.
That needs to change.
While the act is gross and not right, it's not morally right, it's not a crime. DA's office said their hands are tied unless the legislature makes the act criminal. So it's an interpretation of the law, if you will. I don't know,
lack
man.
thereof.
Somebody intentionally pees in your water jug
for your team, and
so
then
that you'll eventually drink it. Sounds
intentional
and due to try to harm people or, yeah.
Gross.
Very gross. Friggin' sports on Rock Mornings. Bad news, happy music coming up in a bit. So is some Kill Switch.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Walmart employee says that a customer called the cops after said customer accidentally overcharged himself for avocados at the self-checkout kiosk.
Avocados from Mexico.
And then accused the store of robbing him.
So he put in the wrong price point for that product and then called the police?
Apparently. This is on a Reddit page dedicated to all things Walmart. So who knows of the
truth behind the statement?
The veracity of the statement. But a Walmart employee claiming a customer called the police after he, the customer, accidentally overcharged himself for avocados at the self-checkout kiosk, then accused the store of robbing him.
Mm-hmm. Robbing me blind.
The guy who posted the story on Reddit said the man came up with a bunch of stuff, claimed an item on the shelf that was priced at $9.99 was showing up on the register as $19.99. The Reddit user said a Walmart team leader was able to get it fixed for the gentleman. However, it happened again with an item that couldn't be changed. Then he had avocados. I guess he accidentally hit 999 avocados instead of the 9 he intended. His total jumped to over $1,300.
Huh?
That's when the customer freaked out, started yelling before stating that he was calling the cops because Walmart was robbing him.
Maybe not that.
Well, you haven't put your credit card in there yet. You haven't had to pay for anything yet. It's just a simple mistake on the computer. The customer apparently then called 911. Police showed up. Dude creates a whole circus and then shows everyone the self-checkout screen, claiming that Walmart is robbing him. Walmart employees tried to work to appease this guy. Still wouldn't stop arguing and being combative. The customer was warned that he needed to leave or he would be arrested for trespassing. But the man refused to go unless Walmart compensated him for pain and suffering and distress.
Jeez, that's not happening, dude.
Eventually, the cops, I guess, put the cuffs on this guy and took him outside.
Yeah, it's best we just go have a discussion. Little one-on-one discussion about how this is going to go down.
Last week, we had the video of the Bigfoot in Colorado.
Yeah.
At least what some people thought was a Bigfoot. Some kind of large animal that looked to be moving between some trees that were about 10,000 miles away from where the camera was.
Right.
Which is typical of a Bigfoot video. Now, a reported sighting of a Bigfoot in Michigan has become the talk of a town. The town of Monroe, Michigan. Are you familiar with Monroe, Michigan?
Is it on the lake?
Don't know where it is, but I'm assuming it's around some water. You know, the Squatch, they like to go for a little dip every once in a while.
So someone that was there camping or hiking or something got a video?
A reported Bigfoot sighting in the town of Monroe, Michigan has prompted a local cannabis dispensary to offer a discount for evidence of the creature. Took place near a road in Monroe County on May 18th, according to an account published by the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization.
Those are some fun people to party with.
According to the story, a 47-year-old man who was referred to as Edward was bow fishing with his 12-year-old son when they heard a rustling in the trees, followed by a huge thud of something hitting the ground.
That's how it was when I was camping and a moose came by our campground.
Edward said a big, heavy animal hit the ground and crouched before starting to move towards him. His dog then went after the creature, which ran off. Said his dog chased the creature up a slope, but couldn't call the dog back. It was already too far gone. Edward and his son told an investigator with the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization that the creature appeared to be a large primate about 6 feet tall with dark fur. That doesn't sound like a Bigfoot at all. That sounds like a hairy guy in the woods. Because aren't Squatch like 9 feet tall?
I don't know. I don't know because it's not a thing.
They said it appeared to run on 2 legs in a hunched position. It was as big as a bear but looked like a gorilla, said the son. The encounter apparently lasting about 10 seconds. Neither had thought about taking a photograph since it happened so suddenly. News of the Bigfoot sighting spreading through the area and beyond.
Bigfoot sighting, is it though?
And a cannabis dispensary capitalizing on the publicity by offering a discount for anyone who brings in photographic proof of the Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, they've got to have some sort of proof.
Unique Cannabis. Sign in front of the store says, bring photo proof of Bigfoot for a free pre-roll.
When I first heard about it, I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I said, oh my gosh, I leave home for a week and look what happened. There was what was called the Monroe Monster years ago. Someone saw a big creature out near the Fermi power plant. I think it's really funny that this was spotted near where that was.
So
years ago, there was another
cryptid out there.
Yeah, another creature spotted.
That's a guy that lives in Monroe named Bob talking about the sighting.
That's Bob.
I go out of town for 1 week and
stuff happens.
And the Bigfoot shows up.
There are no abominable snowmen. There are no Sasquatches. There are no big feet.
Are they sure it wasn't a bear that was walking on 2 legs?
Maybe.
I feel like all those videos are like somebody put on a costume and walked through the woods, like you said. From 1,000 miles away, you get the video clip.
Bad news, happy music. Few more stories here. This is in Richmond, Virginia. A couple says that a Starbucks worker refused to help them during a medical emergency because they were not waiting in line. I don't go to Starbucks, so I don't know what the rules are, but I'm guessing that they're pretty rigid about the line.
I don't know what that means.
No budging.
So they came in to use the bathroom to get a glass of water, or they were sitting using the cafe internet. What happened?
Kevin Key, the guy in the couple, apparently has stage 4 kidney failure. He and his wife, Melissa, were at a Starbucks in Richmond, Virginia for a comedy show. Then he began to have a scary medical episode. He started sweating, and he's like, I don't feel well.
I could have possibly blacked out. It could have had a more dramatic impact on my body. My kidneys could have possibly just shut down.
And he just started sweating. He's like, I don't feel well. He started leaning over, and then he started vomiting. I was frantic. I think I was crying at that point. The employee looked at me and was like, you need to get in line. And then I repeated what I said. I'm like, but my husband, he's in kidney failure. We just need ice water quickly. And he looked at me again and was like, you need to get in line. Starbucks had a decision that day to pick policy or humanity, and they chose policy.
So this didn't actually happen in the store. It sounds like it either happened out on the street or maybe in the vehicle, because she ran inside the Starbucks and, despite the long line, said something to the customers. My husband's having a medical emergency. I just need to get some water. She said everybody waiting in line was sympathetic to her situation, allowed her to go straight to the drink pickup counter. And that's when they said, you can't be over here. You got to get back in line. So maybe things were not clear. Maybe the person handling it behind the counter didn't really know what was going on. Maybe it's a tactic other people have used before to get a quick water out of you.
Maybe they deal with a lot of people just coming in to get a water and not making any purchases, and they're just, oh, sure, medical emergency, sure.
Apparently, she was unable to get the water from the Starbucks. So she went to the Capital One Cafe, which is directly opposite the Starbucks in the outdoor mall there, saving this guy's life with a glass of icy cold, delicious water. After being turned away at Starbucks, Melissa said she ran into the Capital One Cafe. An employee quickly acted and got a cup of ice water. That's when I walked in, and Emma, the employee, was standing there. I told her the same thing. She acted fast. She was like, no problem at all. I hope he feels better. And when I got Kevin his ice water, he almost instantly felt better. Kevin then went to meet Emma weeks later and thanked her for being a caring human being.
Okay.
But this couple is obviously trying to get something out of Starbucks here.
I don't know.
Starbucks apparently has reached out to the couple, try and offer their apologies and maybe give them a gift card. I'm going to get some free Starbucks. If you're running late for a flight, don't call ahead with a bomb threat.
To delay the flight until you get there?
Yeah. 23-year-old man named John Robinson, late for his Spirit Airlines flight from Detroit to L.A. last Thursday, so he called in a bomb threat. The plane was still there. Did have to remove all the passengers, interview the passengers, screen them again. The flight finally took off 6 hours later. John was arrested when he arrived at the hotel later that day to take a different flight. Sounds like he wasn't going to be able to take the delayed flight anyways. So the bomb threat was pretty much pointless. Just wasted everybody else's time. The police say they easily traced the call back to John using his phone records. Later admitted to the FBI that he made the call with the hope that it would delay the flight long enough for him to make it to the airport. John was charged with maliciously giving false information about an explosive.
You said bomb on an airplane.
What's wrong with saying bomb on an airplane?
You can't say bomb on an airplane.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
Can't do it, dude. Can't do that.
Jeez. Oh, man. I'm running behind. I know what I'll do. Ugh.
Can't do that. Everybody knows that. That's a no-no. It's a no-no. Last but not least, you know anybody taking Ozempic?
I do not.
I know several people doing some kind of, what do they call them, GLP-1s? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's technically that or Wegovy. Wegovy's the other one, isn't it?
You know several people doing it?
Yeah. Several people that I'm actually close with.
And it's working?
I don't know. I supposedly.
All right.
I'm taking their word for it. I mean, I haven't looked at them and been like, damn, dude, what are you doing? You know, you look skinny. Are you all right? But I know some people and they say that it's working. Apparently, one of the side effects to Ozempic, the good side effects, is that your penis gets bigger. Supposedly.
And you lose weight?
Male Ozempic users have said their penises have gotten bigger since they started injecting the weight loss shot, with dozens of well-endowed fellas going to online forums to see if they are the only ones. So, obviously, a lot of the side effects are like greasy, oily stool, vomiting, tightness of the chest, those kind of things, right?
But
they don't say anything about your.
Bigger.
They don't say anything about your massive dong.
It seems bigger. Like if I was looking at that, it seems like it's grown.
And apparently, it's not just because they're losing weight, right? Because, you mow the grass, the tree looks taller. That whole kind of situation,
I understand what you're saying, but they're saying no. Like they're noticeably noticing.
A Reddit thread said, quote, "I recently measured myself down there and noticed I gained about 1 inch. 1 inch? First of all, grown-up men don't measure their penis. They just don't.
But could you tell if it was...
You could kind of look and you could tell. I mean,
Yes.
like, me and my penis is like this, son. Like Dave Chappelle. You could definitely tell by looking at it or being around it.
If it
seeing
changed?
Yes. Especially if you've already got, if you're dealing with one that's a problem,
You could look down and say that's casting a bigger shadow today.
Right. Something's different.
Yeah.
But no guy's pulling out a ruler or a tape measure and going, "Hey, honey,
I think this one's
I went
a little
from
bit
4 to
over
5.
This one's a little bit longer now.
You can look and kind of guess, and you're like, all right, well, I got about 6.
It grew girth, maybe. Maybe
now
it was
I
girth.
think people will say it was because of the fat loss. However, at the time I measured myself before, which was 4 years ago, I was thinner. I also bone pressed during measurement before, and also this time. Has anyone else noticed this change? Who are these creeps, these crazy dudes out there measuring their wiener every 4 years? Who does that? If you do that and you're friends with me, don't be my friend anymore.
Like keep a journal, or
that's
like
so
it's
crazy weird.
The growth chart for kids when they're grown up in
like
the
you
closet.
just lay down and measure it on the door jamb
every so often.
Being a man isn't about the penis.
What are you doing measuring your wiener every 4 years?
On a regular basis.
That's some psycho territory. I'm sorry. Do you and all that, but like if I found out that my friend was measuring his wiener every couple of years, now if he was measuring it because he was trying to take drugs or do something like
to change it,
right? But if you're just measuring it for whatever like there's no real reason.
Well, what is it like? When you grow older, you get shorter because your bones compress. Is it that kind of a thing? Like I wanted to see if this changes too.
I don't know. It's like it's just there and it's the same as it's always been.
Well, this guy saw some growth.
Yes, another happy Redditor responded. I gained 1.5 inches in length. No joke. Like you, I obviously know how long I was before I got very fat. Then after about 7 months on whatever the thing is, in my case, I gained 1.5 inches in length. Definitely not from weight loss. These dudes are out there measuring their wieners like on a regular.
And having magic.
Penis had a mole on it. I'd recognize that penis anywhere.
And growing some...
These are guys that probably have very small wieners. You know what I mean? Like,
no. You think?
If you're average or above, you're not measuring it. You already know. You're well aware of what's going on down there. But if you're rocking 1.5 to 2 inches and you're very unsatisfactory, you're probably very concerned with that thing and you're just constantly checking in on it.
What if you read in the thread that you could gain? So then you're like, all right, well, let's see. Let's have a starting, but like a base level.
A third man remarked, I noticed that happened to me as well. My wife definitely noticed a difference. I was 278 pounds down to under 200 pounds. Meanwhile, other men also claim that they noticed the size difference after taking Ozempic, but put it down to better blood flow, reduced fat around the pubic
about that.
area.
I was wondering about that.
It's not that big.
It's not
Again,
like
you mow the grass and the tree looks taller. That's just how it works.
better circulation.
Well, and you don't have the fupa thing going on up down here, and so it's got more room to grow, and it's getting more sunlight. It's very happy down there. It's a happy customer.
Ask me about my wiener.
Maybe getting a little more action, right? It's seeing a little more day-to-day usage.
Well, and the blood flow and the weight loss.
I feel like nobody is really reading what you are writing. They blame the weight loss while you measured the first time when you were actually lighter. Ozempic does not enlarge your penis, but an erect penis may change size considerably depending on time of day, temperature, factors other than sexual arousal. It's probably just simply that.
I would think that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how it is. Sometimes in the morning you wake up, you're like, good Lord.
Although if it did make your penis
put
bigger,
this thing through a television.
crap would be free and you could get it on your prescription.
Oh, they'd be giving it to every man in the world.
Saying. All of a sudden, that's
You'd
how
get
we
it as
make
a baby.
Ozempic
You're
free.
coming out, as soon as you're out the womb, chink, they
That'd
get
be
you with
it.
that Ozempic. Yeah.
I have a very great friend in Rome called Biggus Dickus.
They're calling it Ozempic penis or Ozempic dick. Latest in a series of side effects that users of the weight loss drug
But that's
have
in
been
the
experiencing.
pro column, isn't it?
That's totally in the pro.
Con column. That's the pro column.
Ozempic mouth, another one, marked by pronounced folds at the corners of your mouth, noticeable wrinkles on the lips, and sagging skin along the lip
That sounds
contours
like a
and chin
con.
area.
That's a con. That sounds like a con.
But apparently, if you take the Ozempic, you might see a little bit more of this.
Get some of this then.
An inch? A full? That's a lot. Do you know how much more an inch is?
Yes, I do. I do.
That's not. This is like an inch, right? That's like an inch and a half. No, that's 3, 4. You're way off.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
I'm sorry. I don't know how my friends get the drugs. I don't ask.
Well, I was just asking. That's all I was saying.
I have a couple of friends that I know, people that I know that I'm close with that are taking either Wegovy or Ozempic or one of those
something
weight loss drugs, and they say they're working. But I don't know how they got it, if it was prescribed or if they just called somebody in Canada or what went down. I have no idea. No idea. Oh, look at that. Our texting isn't working. How nice.
You can buy it at Walmart?
Can you?
I don't know.
Is it $21,000 a shot like my...
It looks like it's
Sky
expensive.
Rizzi?
Not quite that. I didn't know you could just get it anywhere.
I thought you had to be prescribed it.
Oh, you
Is
can,
it like
yeah.
a
It's you
generic?
can get it there, but you have to have a prescription to get it there.
Okay.
I mean, they're just saying it's available through their pharmacy, not
Gotcha.
like on a shelf.
Right. That'd probably be something they would lock up like some
Baby
of the other
formula?
products. Yeah. Whatever it is. Well, I would read text messages, but our stupid free texting service doesn't seem to be
broke.
working right now. Here we go. It's working. Alex texted in and said, "Happy Monday, folks. Tuning in a bit later than normal. Hope you all have a wonderful day." Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Working on it. Davey said, "The thing I think is funny about Ozempic is that everybody thinks it's a weight loss drug, but wasn't it originally for diabetes?"
It's for
a lot of things.
Yes.
Well, that's what I found interesting when I got the Sky Rizzi shot for my psoriasis. Because the commercials were all for psoriasis, but then it comes in the mail and it's like, this is also for Crohn's disease and arthritis or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yes.
I'm like, what? I'm like, it's for all this crap. And look, they're just putting a lot of heavy duty drugs inside you, and eventually it's going to work itself out.
All of those things are autoimmune disorders, so maybe like
just
in your
kinda-
case, it covers a bunch of them. But yes, Ozempic was a diet.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be a weight loss drug. It just happened to be a side
Also
effect.
do that.
Courtney texted in. We were talking earlier about going to a bunch of different states, and 5% of American adults have apparently never left the state that they live in.
One state. That's their list. One.
Got a text from Courtney. He said, "Just got back from South Dakota. Highly recommend." You got to see this camp. Look at this thing. Look at this.
Well,
This is-
is it by?
No, I don't know, but
Oh.
that's a setup, huh? This camper looks like it's out in the middle of nowhere.
It does
Looks
look like that.
It looks like a research camper, like they're digging up an alien from
Can you
underground.
imagine the stars he could see at night?
Oh, I bet.
Oof.
Big and bright.
That's awesome.
Said, by the way, the app does not work when outside of Timberlake, South Dakota. No cell service at all. Had to miss my favorite radio personalities for 4 days. Sorry, bud.
That sounds like a place where the internet might be scarce. That's all I'm saying.
Cheryl texted in and said you can get similar stuff off of the Hims and Hers websites.
I was just looking at that.
So they do the hair care and the men's health stuff, and they give you boner pills, and
I was just looking at
without
that.
a prescription, and it's all discreet, and it comes in a non.
Yeah, but I'm afraid. How about with it? Does it mess with your medication? I mean, I don't know. Can you just?
Well, I think they have a medical professional that you talk to before they allow you to order it, right?
Okay.
You got to fill out some kind of questionnaire, and maybe have like a Zoom meeting with somebody.
Okay.
Thanks to the guy or girl who texted in earlier, said the Packers are releasing two-time Pro Bowler Jair Alexander. We were talking about sauces. Apparently, the average person has 8 different sauces in their fridge,
which is so low. Such a low number.
Somebody texted in and said, "Bro, I've got more than 8 hot sauces alone."
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. 5, at least 5 hot sauces.
It's like cheese. How many cheeses do you got? Like 9?
So many.
12?
So many cheeses.
All the cheese.
So many sauces.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the correspondence. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.